Welcome to the Youngpreneur podcast, a show for young and aspiring entrepreneurs who want to start or scale their own business. Our podcast is dedicated to helping young people find a community and resources to start and grow their businesses. Hosted by Charlotte Enever and Linda Reed Enever, our passion is seeing the future of business grow.
Welcome to the Youngpreneur Society podcast. I'm your host, Charlotte Enever, and joining me today is Brad Young. Brad, would you like to give us a little intro to yourself?
Thanks, Charlotte. So Brad Young, Chief Grout Officer at the Grout Guy. We've been going since 2007 officially, but from a growth and doing it properly. It was 2016. We got serious about it. So it was 10 years there or 9 years there. I was just mucking around. Yeah, Brad is the person, father of 4, 36. Yeah, I used to love ice hockey, still do love ice hockey. Played that for a long time. That was me. Now it's, anyone with 4 kids under 5 knows it's a little bit busy at home. Yeah, that's me, really.
Yeah, that's great. So how did you start out in business?
Oh, good question. Really good question. From school, we'll go back to school. So school, finished, went to a decent school here in Perth, finished there in the middle of year 11, and then I went to Canada for a year and started year 11 again. So I finished year 11, but not at Hale, at a school in Canada, which was a really unique situation. Like most people that go to that sort of a school usually don't end up going to another school afterwards. It's either you're out and you're doing a trade or you finish. So that was really cool, seeing the difference in quality of school, which was interesting. Year in Canada, played ice hockey over there, came back, worked for a bottle shop, thought that wasn't for me. That was like a couple of months. And then a family friend was regrouting showers. So this is the sort of crux and how I got into it. He, on the first day I worked for him, his name was Graham, and it was called the Shower Man. And on the very first day, he turned to me and he said, Brad, you can have the Kingsley, which is just a suburb, Kingsley phone fax number. And I've done a couple of these podcasts, as I said, previous, Charlotte. Like phone fax, like, you obviously know what a fax is, but I hope so anyway. Long time before you. Yeah, so he said, look, you can have this number for 25 grand. And it was at that point, it's a half-loaded question, how to get into business. Like, that's when it ticked for me. I'm like, he's charging $500 for a shower. I'm getting 50. Surely there's something still in there for him. I was like, if I can come up with 25 grand, maybe I'll get $150 a job. So that was the very early on light bulb moment. 18 months later, I convinced my mother to give me 35 grand, so 10 grand working capital. And as I said earlier as well, like I was playing ice hockey, playing in like the National League, just mucking around for literally 9 years. So just making enough money to have a half decent living. And that was the spark to build it, I think, and scale. I always wanted. This just sounds so shallow, and it is in a way, but it was the motivating factor. Like I always wanted fast cars, and fast cars aren't cheap. So you need to make some money. Yeah, and that was fast cars, boats, like just toys. Like I'm just a typical boy. Yeah, so to have those things, you need to make some money, and that's the initial drive. Well, obviously now there's kids and giving them a good life and a good start. There's a lot of other motivating factors these days, but yeah, very simple start, I guess.
Yeah, that's good though. And I feel like if you do accept that motivation, even if it is very materialistic, if you accept that, then it makes it more genuine. You are more motivated to go for those goals.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So what's your favorite part about running a business?
Favorite part would be the freedom of the tasks that I want to do for the day. So it's Monday morning. Oh, okay, we'll do a podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. Hour or 2 here, whatever, how long we're going to have a yarn for. And then, it's choices. So a favourite part, one of the best parts, I think, is, and it's probably a question that you've got, I don't know that I've seen them, but probably, like about scaling and building a business. Like the easiest or best way to do that is to, in my opinion anyway, is to do yourself out of a job. A mentor of mine, she always says, stop doing dumb tasks. I used to do all the van regos. So the emails get sent to me, and I've got to log into the Department of Transport, although you're from Victoria, and I've just learned this morning, I was talking to a Victorian business partner, it's all direct debit over there. It's a lot easier. Wait a while, it's not. It's every year they send you the renewal notice for the for it, and you just got to pay it online, and it's a pain in the ass. That was just a recent one and a good example. Like I gave Alicia, the chief of staff, I gave her a login to Department of Transport. She's got a credit card. Done. Sorted. Not my problem anymore. Payroll, another good example. Like, why do the payroll itself? Get someone else to do it. All the state managers, they do everything. I just rock up, and favourite part in a real nutshell is giving people or letting them grow in their job by getting myself out of a job.
Yeah, that's nice.
Getting myself out of a job, I'll get more time. But yeah, the favourite part is seeing that happen, which as a consequence gives me more time, which is those two combined, I think.
Yeah. So I think this is more related than my other questions. How do you support your employees, and how do you make sure they feel supported?
Staying in contact, as in, this is such a hard one. It really is. Because there's a point when I'm very much a big fan of like the degree of separation. So you've got workers, middle management, upper management, me. That's the hierarchy. If we do a toolbox talk, do a brekkie and put some bacon and eggs on or whatever. Not that I was here for the last one, we were in Bali, but when they're on, I'll be here. But I'm not doing any of the talking or any of that these days. I'll just rock up, have a yarn with a few blokes, have my brekkie with them. Nick, the state manager, he'll grout at them if he needs to, or whatever he needs to do. But it comes back to the one word answer there is communication.
Yeah.
And whether that be toolbox talks, one-on-ones, like the boys will do one-on-ones with so state manager or head of grout. So we've got grout guys, head of grout, state manager, me, basically, or chief of staff, really. She's on the same level as state managers. Yeah, that. One-on-ones I think are very important, especially in the office.
Yeah.
One word answer, communication.
Yeah, communication is great because I feel like it could be really easy to shut yourself away, even if you are somebody just working all day. Because, once you shut yourself out, I feel like you start to, I don't know, despise your job and everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what downstairs is good basketball hoop in the warehouse. I'm I'm down there all the time. I just put in one of the questions I had last week for something similar was like, what does leadership look like? And I jokingly wrote down, because I wasn't going to say it, but I ended up saying it anyway, was a 36-year-old that can't play basketball trying to shoot hoops with an AirPod in, looks like he's talking to himself, because I'm usually talking to someone on the phone, right? So that's, there's obviously different styles to do different things, but relaxed and make sure everyone else feels comfortable and relaxed at the same time, I think is really important.
Yeah. And as much as I love the idea of working as a corporate person, it can be so uncomfortable because, if you don't have that engagement, then what's the point?
Yeah, there's got to be a shift, right? I think there's so many people out there at the moment where they chase that corporate life or that. I think schools or the education system in general sort of teach that a lot. I've got a feeling unis are getting a little bit smarter with it. But has it really filtered down to the things of education? No, not at all. Go get an office job, 9 to 5, there's so many books and podcasts and YouTubers out there that stuff's just, it's very old thinking.
Yeah. And they always tell you, oh, there's so many other options. But then, like, when it comes to actually telling you what the other options are, it's you could work from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, thanks.
I spoke to the boys at school last week, and they're year 11s. So some of them are doing the AETAR or TE or whatever it is. And some of them doing like a sort of like a bridging course between the two. And I'm there as basically a dropout, just going, if you go learn to do something with your hands, you do it well enough, you're going to make more money than you are 4 years out of uni, full stop, like almost immediately. And if you're smart about it and you start to employ people and get other people to do the job for you, you can obviously multiply that so quickly.
Yeah, 100%. So what was the tipping point in growth for the company?
A big one, I think, was we went to franchise. So we were going to go down that route to franchising. The professional or corporate slogan that we have is low-cost solutions for leaking showers. To build a margin in a franchise business model, we had to put the prices up, and significantly at that point. And in my mind, that didn't sit right. So all of a sudden, it was just like, we got to shift the thinking. So we had docs signed up. We had everything done for this franchise agreement, the franchising stuff. We went to Expo. We went to a franchise expo, trying to flog off the franchises, and then we're making the bottom line is going to be a single percentage, 3.5%, 4% on turnover, which is just rubbish. So I was like, we're not doing that. So the decision to go, we want a franchise. That was a tipping point, I guess. The real tipping point. So I went to franchise. Best mate was going to take on Victoria, like the master franchise. I'm like, mate, we're not doing this franchising stuff. And there was a few words exchanged in a nice way. And then he's like, I'm still doing it. So how are we going to do it? Well, that was the end of the conversation. And that's how we came up with the model we've got now. So I set up a separate entity, basically set up a license agreement with that entity. It trades as the Grout Guy. It is the Grout Guy. I still own most or a majority share in that company. He owns 45%, I own 55%. We still got a good chunk. Yeah, it was when I got other people involved like that. I was like, right, this can actually make some. I knew it was making decent dough, but it was like, it can 5, 10x this in only a couple of years. And that's happened. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's obviously gone really well.
It's the opportunity, I think, that you can throw or that you can give to other people. It's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a long time ago. I can't remember where I read it or saw it or listened to it or whatever it was. Something like, if you change people's lives, like, it'll come back to you, as in wealth or time or whatever it may be. And the example back then was Microsoft. Like, it was a computer software. Windows came along. Bill Gates laughing, right?
Yeah.
But I'm on a Mac now, and I hate PCs these days. But anyway, different story. Steve Jobs done all right as well. But I guess where I'm going with that is when I saw the light of being able to help people create something for other people as well, that was the tipping point. And especially now as we start to, Adelaide's rolling out in a few weeks, probably now. Last podcast was like 2 months ago that I did, and I was like, oh yeah, it'll be out. No, we're going to Adelaide next week. Nah, not quite, but now we're set in stone. It's happening. Yeah, by November we'll be up and operational, but I think early to mid-October we're there. And again, that's with other people. So I'm selling off part of that company, and it's just giving people the opportunity to make more money and have more sort of time and freedom and whatever else that comes with that. So yeah, short answer, helping other people. Tipping point.
Yeah. It seems like teams and like having good people a part of your team is really important to you. How do you choose who's right for that team?
Trial and error. Yeah, it's making mistakes is part of life in general. I think in business, you're going to make a lot. The more mistakes you make, I think inevitably the more success you have, as long as they're not catastrophic mistakes. You forgot to pay your tax bill for 5 years in a row and then they get angry. Like, that's not the sort of mistake I'm talking about. I'm talking about hiring the wrong people for a couple of months and you go, no, that person's toxic, got to go. Balls up that engagement with that employee. We end up at Fair Work. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, whatever. Done, dusted, next, move on. And you just got to keep looking forward. Yeah, I think mistakes are critical, and probably it is the best form of education. It really is. Because it's like kids, right? You hit them or not hit them like as in me, they hit each other. That happens a lot with 4 boys. And then they get smacked back by the little brother, and that hurt. Then he's probably not going to hit him again. So, well, that hurt. So you learn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, and I really hate making mistakes, but I'm starting to learn that it's, as much as it hurts and it's annoying, it's the best way to do it.
Absolutely. School like belts it into you. You can't make mistakes. I'm like, fuck off. Make as many mistakes as you want.
Yeah, like just chill for a second. Stop testing me every week. Let me live. Let me make the mistakes.
Another one is problem solving. So if there's a problem and we can solve it, that's so cool. Because it's like, if it's someone else's problem, it makes it even more, for me anyway, it makes it satisfying or it gives me a sense of self-worth because you're helping, but it makes it 99% of the time is a win when you help someone and it comes back tenfold.
Yeah, like it's a personal win because you figured something out. You did a good job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To finish us off, I have 2 more questions.
Yeah.
How do you achieve such a strong work-life balance? Because you clearly have that.
I usually draw a graph for people with this. Like, it's like I'll do it. Sorry, I'm trying to do it the right way. Anyway, he's got a line on this side, which is like, and then I put Christy at the top, which is my wife, and work down the bottom, and then I put a line in the middle of this.
Yeah.
And it looks like this. So the balance goes to Christy and the kids and home life. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, why isn't work making enough money? I'm dying to work. And then the wife gets pissed off because I'm always at work. Like this. So I drew that for so many people for the last 5 years. And what I've learned is if you can make those times spent at each bit consistent, then ultimately it's not like that.
Yeah.
Because time spent away from either work or the family, if it's the same, if it's a routine and you build that well, you're not just at the office for 14 hours a day and never seeing the kids or the wife and whatever, right? That's shit. And something on the flip side of that, if you only work for 3 hours a day, it's ultimately going to suffer. Perhaps not, depending on how you've got it set up, right? Like I'm often here less than 5 hours in a day.
Yep.
Rock up at about 9:30 and leave at 2:30. So like I do the drop off and the pick up for the kids at 9 and 3. So that's my hours. And I'll do that a couple of times a week. So how do you get there? I don't know. And how do you maintain it? Again, probably trial and error, supportive partner, husband, wife, whatever. I think that's underrated in a lot of it. There's so many people who just think that there's the face or the founder or the CEO or whatever, but there's always a whole bunch of support network people behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's not in a few cases, but they're just work freaks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like you're only human.
Exactly.
So as great as it is to take all the credit, like
no, I did a really good example of that. Is I did a charity walk a few months ago for Zero to Hero Youth Suicide Prevention. Great charity. It was a 5-day hike, bloody long walk. Everyone gets sick of it. Not sick of it being like it's just a bit of a chat. Anyway, it was a CEO trek, and to be fair, I was a pleb of the group, if that makes sense. So there was some wealthy people there, which is cool. If you didn't know, you wouldn't know either, which I felt was so cool. And how that they're just normal people. Everyone like puts, especially your Osha, like and your peers like that. One goes out 20 years ago. That sounds a bit crazy to say. Anyway, yeah, 20 years ago or 19 years ago when I was 15, 16, I just put everyone that made a lot of money on a massive pedestal. Like I couldn't stand the other. And it's like one guy in particular I'm thinking of. Everyone was talking about these guys, these brothers on this walk and blah, blah, blah. And I had no idea. I wasn't part of it. But there was about 10 of them that knew each other on this walk.
Yeah.
And they're worth hundreds of millions, if not more. And I'm like, you absolutely wouldn't. And I think that's just, it's a humbling thing to know that they're just normal people.
Yeah. And I feel like it's also good when you start to learn that they are normal people, because I know it helps me feel like I can achieve something like that. But also I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off of, I'm going to say this, and it's nowhere near what a lot of famous or rich people get. But I don't have any younger siblings, but my friends' younger siblings, they'd always be like, oh my God, because I dye my hair all the time.
Yeah.
And they'd freak out about that and go, oh, I want Charlotte's hair. And they idolize the hair bit. And it's now I feel pressured to have good hair. So there was a solid period of time in Catholic school where I couldn't dye it. And it was so sad.
Yeah.
Letting these kids down.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's funny, right? And I think when you can let go of that, especially in a professional sense, like I've got a t-shirt and shorts on. Like this is how I come to work. Like my hair's a fucking mess. Your hair's beautiful, my hair's not. The whole sense of that and the just be yourself, like whatever that is, whether it's if you want to look sharp, sweet. If you just want to look like a bum and play basketball in the warehouse, sweet. But being yourself and authentic and like you're gonna win so many more points that way. Build relationships. Everyone's like, oh, what's the secret in building a business? I was just thinking of this before. It's just popped into my mind. It's just like there's so many deals done at the pub, on a charity walk, on a bike ride. All these guys. There's one guy on the walk and he's like, I've done 90% of my business in the last 5 years. Is like he's a mammal, one of these middle-aged men that ride in Lycra, whatever it's called. He's like, mate, we just go for a ride in the morning, same group of guys. They're all in the same circle of work, oil and gas or something. And they just do deals and they're riding around Perth.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that personal level really makes a difference. If you're talking to somebody's mind and they're like logical thinking, that's not going to mean anything to them. They're not going to remember it either.
No, exactly. Yeah, super
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you so much for joining me. It's so cool. I've heard of you before and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just a normal bloke.
Yeah.
Nothing else. It's the passing note. I think that's so important, is that everyone's just another human.
Yeah.
Anyone that pretends that they're better than someone, worth more, at least for that as a human, like you're an absolute twat. Just get over it. I usually let people know that too, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but anyway, whatever. It is what it is.
I think it's good.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Pretty sure the person being told probably doesn't. They might be a little offended, but they can deal with it.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And it might not always be right from my point, but it doesn't matter either. Very cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. See ya.
Thanks, Charlotte. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Youngpreneurs podcast. Like this episode? Remember to subscribe and leave us a review. And join us in the Youngpreneur Society, a community for young entrepreneurs to explore the world of business. youngpreneursociety.com